Hey everyone, this is David. Welcome back behind the velvet rope. Let's just get right into it because we are joined back by the one and only Melissa's old nose.
Hi, everyone. I am now officially formally known as Melissa's Old Nose. I changed my name recently, so I have laid that name to rest.
And let's tell us about your
And
new
I actually
name.
saw that somebody on Twitter picked it up.
How do you want to
Yeah,
be
so
referred
it's
to now?
RHONJ. Gabriela or the TB or however you want to do it. So there was an account on Instagram that was RHONJ I know who was running it, and I actually got permission once Jim Leonard shut them down to take over that name because I had, for a while wanted to drop Melissa's Old Nose because it's a dig at Melissa and I don't have a problem with the girl. So I was thinking of retiring that name and I couldn't think of one. And somebody was like, wouldn't it be funny since they already accuse you of being the TB to just change it to that? And I did. So it was just like, trolling the trolls. So either Gabriella or RHONJTV. It's up to you. But yeah, Melissa's Old Nose has officially come to an end. That name.
I didn't even know
It's up
that
to you.
if
Gabriella's fine.
I didn't even know that if an Instagram account was shut down, that you can then open another one under the same name. That's interesting.
Well, I'm not on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. So yeah, I took
Oh,
that name from the
Twitter.
Instagram.
Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, no worries.
Interesting. That's interesting. I mean, well, you were here before. Laid out a lot of things that were going to happen this season. I know you've been talking elsewhere. Basically, everything that you have said each episode that's going to happen has happened. Like, what has the reaction been? Because I can tell you the reaction here has been so polarizing, either positive or negative. People have a serious reaction to everything you're doing, which I'm just curious, like from your point of view, like what has the reaction been? Because all your spoilers have come true. I don't know if everyone has realized this. Each week, it's all coming true.
Yeah, and you know what? I had a lot of people slip into my DMs telling me that, they were kind of on the fence. They were like, well, we never really liked you because we were Gorga fans, but then you started talking and we always considered you like a hate account. So we didn't want to listen. But then what you started saying, we started seeing on the episodes. And then, people were aware that the screeners were not out anywhere because of Teresa and Jen Aydin's camp leaking them. So Bravo, said that's a no-no. We're not going to give the people on the cast anymore the screeners so they can see the show before it airs. So when people started seeing what I was saying on your podcast or on others, when they started seeing what I was saying per my notes come to light on the show, they were like, oh, okay. So whether we, like her or hate her, what she is saying is true. So that aspect was interesting to them. So they started paying attention, whether it was on this podcast, listening to what I had to say, or whether it was on my Twitter or, on another pod. So the reviews from people, it's really weird to have somebody who's never met you tell you, listen, I hated you
For a long
for
time.
over a year because I but yeah, but I really appreciate that you stepped up, that you came out with the receipts, that you told us what we all suspected for years, that Teresa was behind the scenes, in regards to Melissa, or that Jen Aydin, was doing this to Danielle behind closed doors, while to her face she was acting like her friend. So um it's been a wild ride. It's crazy to make friends with people that were on the other side. And it's even crazier, David, like the wild of it all, I guess. Like, I can't even put it into words. It's so crazy. The most surreal thing, not surreal. Okay, so when I was a tree hugger and when I was in the camp and I was on Twitter, Melissa's old nose, and I was spewing the most vile shit per Teresa and Jen's camp, everybody on this side of the fence, like the tree huggers, they loved me. I was their bestie. They couldn't get enough of me. They cheered me on. They retweeted me. They quote tweeted me. They were making videos on YouTube's about me, like not me myself as a person, but the platform
Yeah.
and the message. They like adored it. They loved it. And now that I'm showing people how those tweets came to be, they hate me. They hate me. So that is just so crazy. Like to go from having a lot of friends and them loving you and just like cheering you on and chatting you, like they loved every tweet. And now they're just like, you're a fucking bitch, you're a rat, fuck you, die, burn in hell. Like the hatred is real. And it's just like, wow, so you guys loved me when I was spewing the shit. And now that I'm showing you how this shit came to be, you hate me. It's so ironic. It's
But like,
so crazy. That part's just mind-boggling to me.
why? I agree. I think they hate you, but why won't the tree huggers like? What is it's like blind? Like if you don't have a side, I mean, I know they do, but if you just open your eyes and you see the things that are being laid out, why wouldn't they at least look at the facts? Like, what is this blind loyalty towards Teresa at all costs to not really want to hear anything that's put in front of them? That to me is very strange.
It is strange, especially since they're not like being paid by her directly to like, be part of the team. Like they're not benefiting absolutely anything, these fans. I think what it comes down to is that they've been invested since season one. They've watched her, on TV for so many years, and actually they took a liking to her. They became her fans and they feel connected. So now here I am in season 14 saying, guys, what we see them doing to John Fuda, here are the receipts that it was orchestrated and planned back in, April, months before we saw it hit the screens in, they filmed, I think season 14 started filming in August of 2023. In
Yeah.
April of 2023, we were already putting Brittany, John Fuda's ex, into the works. So I think for people to come to terms with what they see on TV and who they love and adore, doing things behind the scenes to like break down a person all for the sake of a show. I just think that they're so invested emotionally with that person. They don't want to think the worst of them. And what I've exposed is the dirty, dark secrets. And they don't want to put those two and two together because then they won't, like, your conscience will kick in and you'll be like, wait, like, how could I like this girl? Look at what she was doing behind the scenes. That's fucked up. So I don't think they want to come to terms with like letting her go, letting the person they adored for years go. So they rather just keep going with the flow. And sometimes people are afraid of the backlash. So they don't speak up. And if anyone is familiar with Twitter, it's a war zone over there. You don't want to get trolled. And Teresa's fans, also, guys, they're famous for doxing people and harassing you in the worst ways. So I think a lot of people are almost afraid to go against the grain and say, wait a minute, she's not who I thought. She's not namaste. She's really a fucking nightmare. And, I don't like her anymore. They're afraid almost. So it's crazy that they see the receipts, the hardcore fans, and they just turn a blind eye. But sometimes, David, they turn a blind eye if it doesn't benefit them. But when it does, they